Good morning. Firstly, I have to thank the Chamber for giving me this opportunity of speaking before you. Many times it is said that Vikram called me that you have to speak at a basic level because they are all going to be freshers. But it is always more a challenge to speak before freshers, because then only you will come to know whether what I am talking has gone along well with you or not. So if we speak before students, the way you all think, because today's young community has a tremendous quick grasping power, and that's why it is more a challenge to speak before you all, because we never know what you will pick up and how you will respond back on a particular aspect of law. Because when we speak over a period of experience, we presume certain things, that you know this or this is a basic level, and we go ahead of it. So certain times when you ask certain questions, we get back to our reflexes to find out, oh, we have missed out on a particular point which needed to be clarified. So it is always a pleasure speaking before students. And GST is a hot topic as it is. What is GST and why should we care? I think all of us over here well know of this particular fact, that it is the most happening reform in taxation per se, and indirect tax in particular. And the world over is almost waiting for our implementation of GST, just to find out that the biggest democracy, when it implements the indirect taxes, this bigger reform, how it will evolve and what will be the results and benefit. Because theoretically, it is always said that when you bring in such a kind of reform, the government itself says that within a period of 1 year, you will have a GDP growth of around 1% or 2%. Okay, as students, as normal persons, citizens, we are not so concerned about GDP. But yes, we are certainly concerned about growth. We are certainly concerned about the wellness of each one of us. And therefore, if there is certainly going to be an increase of 1% of GDP of a country like India, it is going to be substantial growth. So, how good it will be implemented, how good is the law, whether it is really good, whether it is really needed. Now it is already come, and so we have to implement it. So it is being the largest reform of probably this decade, or maybe half a century. It is very important that we understand GST. Normally, many people say that generally the people are not concerned with indirect taxes. Till about a long time, even 10 years back, you hardly had any chartered accountants practicing in indirect tax specific. You may have a small unit or one person in the office is looking after indirect tax, that's sufficient. Sort of an attitude was there. When VAT was introduced in 2005, there was a sea change because audit was introduced across board. Lots of hopes were there at that point of time because it was supposed to be uniform across India. And that in fact failed, because today, as we go back and see, what was promised in VAT was uniformity. All across state there will be uniformity. That uniformity never happened. And therefore, it is all the more challenging in GST to ensure that there happens what is known as uniformity. And if that happens, that's going to be the best thing about GST. So let's move on. There are basically, as of today, the law has been passed. The President has signed the bills. But the notification giving effect is yet to come. The three bills which have been passed is the Central Goods and Service Tax Act, the Union Territory Goods and Service Tax Act, and the Integrated Goods and Service Tax Act. Although GST per se as general, we are concerned more with the CGST or the Central Goods and Service Tax Act. and the State Goods and Service Tax Act. Now state and union territory are at par, so probably the state laws are yet to come, but the format is set and probably it will be rolling out once the rates are decided in this May 16th and 17th when the GST Council is meeting in Jammu and Kashmir. Now we will start with the absolute basic, that in taxation there are two types of taxes which are levied. One is a direct tax, one is an indirect tax. Very simple. What is a direct tax? What is an indirect tax? Income tax is a direct tax. Why is it called direct? Why is it not called indirect? Yes? Why is income tax called a direct tax? Yes? You can be louder, at least I'll feel you are all awake. Or you are not dozing because you have got up in the morning to reach at 9 o'clock. Saturday being an off. Okay? Direct tax is levied on the person and it is paid by that same person out of his own pocket. The incidence of tax which is levied on him cannot be passed on and is not passed on also. Therefore, income tax is a direct tax. Whereas indirect tax, what happens is that it is levied on one person. It is paid by that person, but it is collected down the line from the other person to whom you are selling and then paid to the government. So the indirect tax passes on from one person to another person and finally the consumer pays. Now how we are concerned with it? Till today everybody buys a pen, 5 rupees, 10 rupees pen. If normal, if you got a pen, you can go and buy downstairs and 10 rupee pen you give. You never think also that if there is any taxation in that 10 rupee pen. But there is around 20% taxation minimum, okay, in that pen. So the 10 rupees which you are paying, almost minimum 2 rupees. The indirect tax study was done by Kelkar committee when Vajpayee government was there. And the estimate was, why is it necessary? People till today, indirect tax was always a neglected sort of a tax. When service tax was introduced, that is when the indirect taxation picked up because the revenues from the indirect tax picked up. In indirect tax, the public really does not know how much it is taxed. And in the current system, in the old system we should say, because we are moving on to the new system now, the indirect taxes are anything between 20% to 45%. Okay, when you count the excise duty, the VAT, the octroi, the LPT, all those things. These are all indirect taxes. Now therefore, this reform was the most needed reform. Okay. Now, why is it that there is a need to change this taxation of indirect tax which we have today? Because we've been running the country now for almost more than 60 years. And still, we are saying a lot of reform is needed, the old system is bad, there are lots of hiccups. Why is it? What is the base reason for this? The base reason is because India is a country where we have a 3-tier system. We have the panchayat, we have the state, and we have the center. Each of these entities have been granted powers to make the law. Now initially it so happened that uniformity of making laws with respect to taxes was not there. Okay? So what happened? You have the state list. Now in state list, you have the power to tax the goods. Now it is, you all have probably learned it in 10th standard civics. What is the state list? What is the union list? What is the concurrent list? Now in state list, if some subject is there, then no other government can make a law. So on goods, only the state government can make a law. Now on services, the central government makes a law. Now whatever service tax central government gets, it doesn't want to give so much out of it to the state government. So the state government does not have power to levy service tax. Similarly, there is a concurrent list where both can make a law. What happened was really, all this has led to a situation, 3 main reasons why the present indirect tax system needs to be changed. One is that there is a double taxation in many areas. For example, software. It is taxable under VAT also, it is taxable under service taxes. Intellectual property, taxable under VAT also, taxable under service tax also. Okay? Then you have lots of such restaurants. Service tax is also levied, VAT is levied. When in a transaction, if a transaction is there, a transaction can be either of goods or of service. Even if it is of both, presuming it is both, some part of it will be goods, some part of it will be service. But the taxation, because of the control of state and center differently, each wanted more of the taxes from that transaction. Eventually, for a 100 rupees transaction, the taxable value on a person who paid the tax was more than 120. Okay? Because you could not bifurcate practically, you had to go in for composition rates, and composition rates, both people did it in their own fashion so that they could get more revenue. Second thing was cascading effect of tax. What do you mean by cascading effect of tax? The simple answer is tax on tax. On a manufacturer, excise duty is levied. When excise duty is levied, so 100 rupees plus 10 rupees excise duty, 110. The VAT is levied on 110. So on the 10 rupees of excise duty, VAT is also levied. So today, if tax on tax goes, the revenue from petroleum division will go off by 20%. There was a news in the today of 72 rupees or 75 rupees which you are paying for petrol. The tax and tax amounts to around 3 to 5 rupees. Simply tax on tax. So you can imagine how much revenue is going. Now, okay, government is getting revenue, but it is going waste in the sense that the trade is not benefited out of it. Why it is not benefited? Because there is no cross credit allowed. Person who is selling petroleum, he is not allowed the credit of the excise duty. He is allowed credit of the VAT. So if you are VAT dealer, you are not allowed excise. If you are a service tax dealer, you are not allowed VAT. So the cross credits always miss out on taxes, and that adds to your cost. If it adds to your cost, it adds to the margin, the prices go up, and then nobody benefits. Because of this, now how do we remedy this? So the remedy is that there has to be a constitutional amendment, because under the constitution, the state list was there, the union list was there. They amended the constitution and gave the power both to the center as well as the state to levy the taxes on goods as well as services. Now that to a great extent led to the initiation of the process of GST. Now what happened was, once the constitutional amendment was done, the GST council was formed. That council consists of all the members of the state and the center, and the law prescribes that 70% majority has to agree to any of the provisions of law. So far there has been a consensus. The draft laws were framed. We are already through that. There were two draft laws. There was the first model law which came in September last. Then there was, in November, we had a second draft law. And now we had the final bill which was put up. That has received the president's assent. Okay, so it has been approved by the parliament. But it is not approved by the state, because the state bills are yet to be passed. And then you will have the rate baskets for goods and services, and then it will be implemented by 1st of July. Now going back a little bit into the history, Vajpayee government had formed a Kelkar committee. They had given a report that there is a need for indirect tax reform. The then finance minister in 2006 had proposed GST to be coming from April 2010. We are in 17. And after 7 years, it is finally being implemented. Okay. The most important thing, or what was the point of disputes in so many years, was the fact that if the state governments gave up their right to levy tax, their right to tinker with the rates, what will happen to their revenue? How will they run their state governments? That was the biggest issue. And because of this compensation issue, things went on delaying. Apart from that, the political angle was also there, which created ill will. And therefore, if the state and the center have different governments, they always said, see, and the experience of the state with respect to VAT was very bad. At this implementation in 2005, when VAT was implemented, it was very clear that the states will be compensated for the loss. Ultimately, they were not compensated for the loss. And therefore, for 3 years, none of the dealers in Maharashtra got refund. The refund actually started 2.5 years later. And there was a lot of ill will between the center and the state with respect to the compensation. And therefore, this time, learning from all those experiences, there has been a special act which has been passed, which is known as the State Compensation Act, which has also been approved by the President. And therefore, under that act, they will be ensured that whatever loss of revenue happens because of the change of system, they will be compensated for it. And that is probably which has led to the implementation of GST. Now there is a concept of dual law, you know. Now dual law, and still we say one tax, one nation. How is it? We will come to it probably a slide or two later. What are the benefits? There are lots of benefits. I mean, everybody talks about the benefits of GST, and now probably the very fact that all of you are here, you all know the benefits of GST. So we should skip this. Okay, now this is the proposed indirect tax for the entire India. Now Jammu and Kashmir is also going to be part. See, service tax was not applicable to Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir had its own law. If you read the CGST bill today, it is not applicable to Jammu and Kashmir, the way it is passed today. But under Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir has a special status. So the first SGST law will be passed by Jammu and Kashmir. That will be approved by the center. And then the central law will also become applicable to. So there is a process of law which is going to happen. And that's why probably the last GST Council meeting is happening in Jammu and Kashmir. So that they will be the first one to come out with the law. That law will be approved by the center, and there will be an amendment in the CGST Act, and it will be applicable also to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, therefore, it is said that one nation, one tax. GST as a tax is one tax, goods and service tax, and it is applicable, it's going to be applicable across India. Okay? A singular tax on supply of goods and services. Now, hitherto we always had different acts applying to, one act applying only to goods, one act applying only to services, you know, and that created a lot of problems. So this is a unified act which applies to goods as well as services, as well as both. Both means where there is some part of goods and some part of services. So like the works contracts or the deemed sales transactions. Okay. Now, it is also following the international system of value-added tax. Value-added tax does not mean the VAT law which we are having just now. Value-added tax means each time a GST is paid, the end result of the entire payment will be such that each person is paying GST on the value added by him at his particular level. Okay, so if you buy from me on 100 rupees, I levy 10 rupees tax, you will sell it for 120, you will collect 12 rupees tax at 10%, you will pay to the government only 2 rupees. 20 rupees was your margin, and you are ending up paying 2 rupees, which is 10% of your margin. So on the value addition of 20, you are paying 2. So that system will continue. Okay, so that taxes do not form part of your prices, so that taxes do not create cascading effects. Therefore, taxes and the rate which you charge are going to be independent. Now, what are the taxes which will go away? Under the central tax, you will have the central excise duty which will be scrapped. The additional excise duty for medicinals and toiletries, that will also go. CVD and SAD, countervailing duty, and special additional duty, that will also go. Section 3 of the Customs Act. Service tax will go. Surcharge and cess under the Service Tax Act or VAT Act, I mean Central Excise Act will also go. Under the state law, your value added tax law will go. The CST will also go. CST will also go. Purchase tax is there, that will also go. But it will come back in a new form. Entertainment tax, which is levied by the state government, will go. Okay. Luxury tax, which is levied by the state government, will also go. Taxes on lotteries and bettings and gamblings will also go. And surcharges of VAT will also go. What will continue? This will continue. See, currently there are certain products where the state government earns maximum revenue out of it. Tobacco and liquor. These are two products where the state excise duty is very prevalent and they are earning out of it. So those are the products which will continue. So central excise on tobacco and petroleum products. Petroleum is a sensitive product because there are lots of imports. That's why that has to be controlled, and that's why it will continue. Basic custom duty will also continue. Octroi, it is supposed to go. Whether it will go or not, because octroi is levied by the municipal corporation. Municipal corporations are ideally not supposed to be merged, but across India nobody is levying octroi. So, and there is a huge demand from last 10 years for removal of octroi. So there is a rumor, you can say, which is a confirmed rumor, that octroi is going to go. LBT will continue, local body tax. Panvel just started it from January. There are New Bombay municipal cess, all these things will continue. Property taxes, stamp duties, everything is going to continue. Entertainment taxes are going to continue. Gram Panchayat tax, electricity, profession tax, all these are going to continue. Now it is a unified levy on goods and services. Now the major change which has happened is the destination based tax. Today, if you are selling the goods to somebody in Maharashtra, one example, and somebody in Vapi, second example. If you are selling it to Maharashtra, you are collecting it in Maharashtra and paying it to the Maharashtra government. Maharashtra government is retaining that tax. If you are selling the goods to Vapi, you are again collecting the tax, giving it to the Maharashtra government, and Maharashtra government is retaining it. Okay? Henceforth, whatever taxes under whichever transaction you collect, the benefit will go to the purchaser, in the sense that if you are in Maharashtra and if you are charging tax to a party in Maharashtra, so that party is also in Maharashtra, therefore Maharashtra government will get the taxes. Not because you are collecting it and paying it to the Maharashtra government, because the person to whom you have supplied is also in Maharashtra and he is the user of the goods. So the user of the goods, the state in which the user of the goods is there, the destination place, that place will get the benefit of the taxes. Therefore, in the second corollary, when you are selling the goods to somebody in Vapi, although you may be paying it to the Maharashtra government will give it off to Gujarat, and the customer who is in Vapi will get the benefit of that taxes in Gujarat. So this is a tremendous change, because hitherto the person who was charging the tax, his state government was getting the revenue, and now the person who is buying or the person to whom you are rendering the service will get the taxes. So now what happened? The three main states who were opposing GST were Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra and Gujarat. Why? Because all these three states are manufacturing states, and if they are manufacturer, they are selling the goods to somebody who is outside the state. Now there is a lot of trade which happens interstate, and a lot of goods are manufactured in Maharashtra and sold across India. Now what will happen? All those taxes which are being made and sold to across India, that will go to those respective states, because this is a destination based taxation. So the main change, the sea change, the mind change is that the tax rate should go to the destination of the user, of the buyer, of the person to whom you are providing the services. And that's why there is a lot of importance to the place of supply. Supply, what is it and why I am saying supply, we'll come to it a little bit later. It is applicable to supplies, is also applicable to imported goods, because you just saw that countervailing duty, CVD and SAD is also going. So instead of CVD and SAD, you will be charged with the GST tax. Okay, so that will also, on import also you will pay tax. Export, of course, you will not pay tax, because taxes should not be exported. Okay, and there will be a dual tax on all supplies. Now, what is this supply is most important. So now, so far the GST snapshot is across globe, more than 150 countries are having GST. GST means they call it value added tax. So VAT, we call it GST, they call it VAT. In India, of course, there is a benefit because constitutional bill has been passed, taxes are subsumed, and it's going to be a destination based tax. Currently what happens, if you are a manufacturer, then excise duty is levied on manufacturer. Then when you sell the goods, VAT is levied. If you are rendering services, service tax is levied. So the point of time of your liability to pay tax differ whether you are a manufacturer, whether you are a trader, that means selling goods, or whether you are rendering services. So depending upon what you are doing, you will pay different taxes. Now everything is unified. If that is unified, then how do you classify on goods and supplies? So they have used the term supply. What is supply? You can supply goods or services. Now this supply term is the most important term because GST is leviable on supply. If there is a supply, there is a tax. If there is no supply, there is no tax. Therefore, supply is one most important definition which all of us or anybody who is concerned with GST must know. Now supply, unfortunately, drafting in our country is supply means supply. Now what do you mean by supply? Saying supply means the supply. Very difficult, it is left to all of us to say. What the government wants is that whenever there are two parties, there is a consideration and there is some supply. Supply means giving from one person to another person. It may be transfer of property, may not be transfer of property, does not matter. If there is a supply of goods or services, then on that supply of goods and services, if it is for a consideration, then there will be a tax which is known as GST. So the first thing is supply of goods or services such as, they are giving you examples such as transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal, etc. agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the course of furtherance of his business. So, if your friend says that I want to borrow your pen, that may not be a part of your GST transaction because it is not for a furtherance of your business. Even if it tells you, okay, your watch is very good, but you say I bought it for 1,000 rupees, yeah, I used it for 6 months. So he says, I am willing to pay 1,000 also. You say, chal le le. So you sell him for 1,000 rupees. That is not a transaction which will be subject to GST because it is not furtherance of your business. That is certainly a supply. Okay. So there are lots of examples which may happen. There may be litigation as to what is supply means supply. So somebody might say this is not supply. That's why when the president was saying in the morning, initially when any law is there, there can be a lot of litigation because the clarity of definition is not there. But the definition has been so wide that it is impossible for you to argue that this is not supply because it is almost covering everything. Right? Okay. Importation of service, whether or not for a consideration and whether or not in the course of furtherance of your business. Now this is very, very dangerous. In the first example I gave you, that when your friend tells you that okay, I like your watch and you are selling the watch to him, it is not a part of your supply. But if your friend is in US and he tells you that I have viewed this movie and this movie is fantastic, so you say it is not released in India. So you say it doesn't matter, I will zip it to you and send it to you. But you tell him, I have to pay this guy over here because in US, for every download you have to pay. So he says, okay, doesn't matter, I will pay you. How much? You said you paid $5 to it? Okay, I will send you the corresponding money to it. Now that is a service which you have rendered. Admittedly, it is not for the furtherance of your business. But that service you have obtained for which you have paid consideration. The law presumes that in such cases, on the basis of reverse charge is when the tax is to be paid by the recipient and not by the provider. Normally, who levies the tax? The one who sells. Who levies the service tax? One who renders the service. Okay? But in certain situations, the provider, the government cannot catch the provider. So, it tells the recipient that it is your liability to pay the tax. So, as a recipient of service, you will be liable to pay taxes. So, in that particular, as far as importation of service is concerned, That means when you are asking somebody from abroad is rendering service to you, then it will be your liability to pay tax as receiver of supply. Now, they also said supply of specified in Schedule 1 made or agreed to be made without a consideration. So far we were saying that there has to be consideration. Indians are very brilliant. They can find out ways and means to avoid taxes. And so the government is equally vigilant on the other side to ensure that by trying out new ways and means you don't avoid taxes. Therefore, there are certain transactions which they have listed in a schedule. We say that if you render service or you supply goods even free of cost, then you have to value those goods and pay taxes to us. So all free supplies are not actually exempt. Normally a free supply is exempt, but if it is in a specified circumstances, if something is given free to you, then that free may have to be valued and taxes may have to be paid. Now the government has also taken power to notify. See, when you realize, I was telling you in the present system that in restaurant you are paying service tax also and you are paying VAT also. Even for some intellectual properties you are paying service tax also and you are paying VAT also. Now that's why there was a dispute. So to reduce the dispute, government has taken the power and it will notify. It has in fact notified and said that certain items are only services, certain items are only goods. So it will say that restaurant providing food in a restaurant is a service. VAT will not apply. So it is to be treated as a service, so that there is lesser dispute. Okay, and it has also taken power to say that something which can be neither a service nor a goods, which in turn means that I don't want to tax this. One thing is employee rendering service to employer. Okay, even in service tax you have that exemption. That exemption continues over here also. Then MLAs, MPs, etc. They are also getting money for being in the parliament. So that is also not treated as part of supply. There are various such examples which are there, which is listed in the schedule. And on those items which the government does not want to tax, on those items will be listed over there, and on those items there will not be any taxation. So now it is a levy on supply. Supply means supply of goods as well as services, or both. So that's why you must know what is goods and what is services. So goods is every kind of movable property other than money and security. So on money and securities it's not goods. Okay, but it includes actionable claim. Okay, actionable claim was so far not taxed either in the service tax nor under the VAT laws also. But here under the GST law, it is going to be taxed. Growing crops, etc. Then software. Now software is an open issue. The Tata Consultancy's case, Supreme Court has long back held that software is goods. Of course, the context in which it had held was different in the customs law it had held. But after that, everybody had followed that and said that software is goods. Now here, but the service tax department also said that software is a service. Now they have bifurcated, but not to a complete extent. They say designing, making a software, designing, reassigning, coding, checking, etc. is a service. But they have not clearly said that any kind of software is service. So today, if you buy a Tally software on a CD, it is a sale of goods. And when you renew it every year, it will be a sale of service. Okay? So those bifurcation is there. Therefore, there is chances of some dispute as far as this software is concerned. Moving ahead, services. Now they have said anything other than goods is service, which is very dangerous. Okay? But it is also said, now in goods they have excluded securities and money. So when you say anything other than goods, then you can say security and money can be taxed as service. Because anything other than goods is service. But they have clarified that goods and securities will also not be taxed. Now why money and securities are not being taxed? Money is not being taxed because there should be uniformity across India. If money is taxed, okay, then it will be 1 rupee 10 paisa in Maharashtra. That 1 rupee will be 1 rupee 5 paisa or 15 paisa in Karnataka if the rates differ. So there has to be no tax on money, okay, because it's a uniformity has to be maintained. Securities. Securities because there is going to be continuation of securities transaction tax. It is already being taxed by the central government, so it's not going to be taxed otherwise. Now they have also said that okay, we will not tax money, but when you are converting from rupees into dollars or dollars into rupee, the person who's doing it makes his money. Okay, the spread, like the buy rate of dollar is 62 rupees 50 paisa and the sell rate is 63 rupees 50 paisa. So there is a difference. That difference is a service and will be subjected to tax. Per se, money is not taxable, but changing over of money where leads to some earning is certainly going to be taxable. Now, what is important is all across any income tax can be levied if you are a person and an assessee. Any person who is an assessee, tax can be levied, notice can be issued, this can be done, that can be done, a lot of things can be done. Under VAT law, you should be a dealer. If you are a dealer, a notice can be sent to you. You may be an unregistered dealer, then also they can catch you. Even if you are a registered dealer, obviously they can catch you. They can send you notice, you have to file your returns, you have to do compliances, etc. etc. Under the service tax, if you are a service tax assessor, if you are rendering service, you are right. Therefore, for a law, every law of taxation will have a term on which the implementation of that law will depend. Because law is a legal entity who is not an independent human being. So, the law should know that there is another entity on which that law needs to be administered. So, VAT is administered on a dealer, income tax on an assessee. Okay. Similarly, over here, GST is on a taxable person. Taxable person, so you should be rendering supply and you should be taxable person also. You may be supplying, but you may not be a taxable person. Then you may not pay service GST. So, taxable person is another important concept which is to be studied and understood. Every supplier is liable to be registered in the state or union territory where the taxable supply of goods or service takes place and the aggregate value of the turnover in a financial year exceeds. Now this aggregate value is very important and that's why it is here. See, aggregate turnover today, if you are in Maharashtra, the VAT limit is 10 lakhs. In service tax across India, the limit is 10 lakhs. But under the GST law, for all goods and services across India, it is 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs. Northeast is 10 and other states is 20. Now, which means that if you are doing 5 lakhs in Maharashtra, 5 lakhs in Gujarat, 5 lakhs in this, then you have to consider the turnover of all the states together, then aggregate it. It also includes exempt supplies, exports, everything. So you can't say that turnover, you have to, because you are registered in Maharashtra, the turnover of Maharashtra only has to be considered. No. Even if you are registered in Maharashtra, and if you are doing some turnover, okay, as a person, in some other states, for example, let us take TVZ Dwellers. Now, TVZ Dwellers do their exhibitions in Goa, they do it in Belgaum, various other places. Belgaum is in Karnataka, Goa is another state. Now, what will happen is that the main business is in Bombay, you see so many TVZ showrooms. Now, the question is that it will say that TVZ is only in Maharashtra. We go out there only to do exhibitions. So, those exhibition ka sale need not be counted. No. The exhibition sale which they do in that Goa or Belgaum, that will also be counted for the purpose of your turnover in Maharashtra. Because TVZ has one PAN, whatever business it does across India will form part of the aggregate turnover. So that care has to be taken care. Now taxes, the actual taxes which are levied on your sale price or on your service price will not form part of your aggregate turnover because taxes will not form part of your turnover. Inward supplies on which you are going to pay under reverse charge because you are paying the tax. Okay, that will also not form part of your term. Finally, this will happen. There will be a tax on supply of goods and services or both. That supply can be intrastate or interstate. If it is intrastate, CGST and SGST is to be levied, and if it is interstate, IGST is to be levied. And this is to be levied by a taxable person. So, if you are a taxable person and if you are rendering a supply, that supply can be either intrastate or interstate. Intrastate means within the state. Interstate means between two states or between one state and one union territory. That is intrastate. And if it is intrastate, you will levy CGST, SGST. What is CGST? Central Goods and Service Tax, and SGST is State Goods and Service Tax. And IGST is Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Now, here what is known as dual levy comes to the picture. Whenever you are entering into any transaction, GST is one. The rate will also be one for a particular supply. But that one rate, you will have to bifurcate into two. One given to the state government, one given to the central government. Okay? So, whenever you are entering into a transaction of GST, the rate may be one, but the payment or the execution of that payment will make two compliances, one to the state government, one to the central government, within that state only. And each state will have a state government ka quota and the central government ka quota. So, let us say if it is 10%, we will take an example later on. And IGST. Now, why IGST? IGST is CGST plus SGST is equal to IGST. So, if the rate is 10% and 5% CGST, 5% SGST, okay, then your IGST rate will be 10%. Why this one when it is interstate? Because in an interstate transaction, the destination of the supply will be in another state because it is interstate. Because it is interstate, the customer is in another state. Because the customer is in another state, although you are going to collect tax over here and pay it to your government is going to give it over there to that government. Therefore, that IGST will be the total of CGST and SGST. That is 10% for our example. Now that 10% will go to Karnataka. Now that Karnataka 10%, Karnataka government will get 5% and the central government in Karnataka will also get 5%. Therefore the 10% rate is made for integrated or interstate transaction. Therefore you have to understand IGST per se is not a tax. It is CGST, SGST only. But because that thing is going to be transferred to another state, they are compositely charging it and sending it across to another state. Now, intrastate. What is intrastate? Location of the supplier and place of supply is same state within India. Then it is an intrastate transaction. CGST and SGST is to be levied. Now, what do you mean by location of supplier? Means the person who is selling or supplying or rendering the service or rendering service and selling goods, both, is in the state of Maharashtra. He is situated in the state of Maharashtra. He is a supplier of goods or services if he is in Maharashtra. And the customer is also located in Maharashtra. Place of supply. Place of supply means the person to whom you are rendering the service or selling the goods. Wherever he is located, that is his place of supply. Place of supply is a very important term in GST. You must know, because when we go ahead, there can be different place of supply depending upon the nature of transaction. As of now, we must understand that the person who is receiving it, wherever he is situated, the general rule is wherever your recipient is situated, that is the place of supply. Okay? So if both you, the supplier of goods, and the recipient of goods or services are in the same state, you will levy CGST, SGST, okay, at whatever rate which is prescribed, and that will be treated as intra-state transaction within the state. Okay, there is an exception. In India, it's a very big country. There can be varied niches of transaction. You will always have some exception. When you study income tax also, every section has an exception, notwithstanding, provided that, okay, subject to explanations. Similarly, over here also you have certain. If you are an SEZ, okay, I am the supplier. You are an SEZ situated in Santa Cruz seed zone, okay, and if I am supplying goods to you, then that supply, both of us are within the state of Maharashtra, okay. I am also over here, that means the supply is also here, the place of supply is also here in Maharashtra. But because he is an SEZ, it will be treated as an intrastate transaction. Interstate, it will not be treated as intrastate. Because all supplies made to SEZ and all supplies made by SEZ, special economic zone entities, will be treated as interstate transaction and not intrastate transaction. So that is one exception. Moving ahead, interstate. What is interstate? The person, you are situated in Maharashtra, the person to whom you are rendering the service or selling the goods is situated outside Maharashtra. He may be in Daman, he may be in Gujarat, he may be in Karnataka. Then there are two different states. Or if it is in Daman, one state and 1 million territory. Then also it is interstate. In that case, it will be interstate transaction and the tax which you will levy will be IGST. Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Now, when the location of the supplier is in India and the place of supply is outside India, it is export. Okay. And similarly for import. If you are the supplier is situated outside India and you as a recipient are in India, then that transaction is an import transaction and it will be subjected to IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Now, we learned that there will be tax on intrastate and interstate. Correct. But what is the point of time when your liability to pay tax arises? Today when you sell the goods, okay, you are levying tax when there is transfer of property in goods. Why? Because there is a sale. So if there is a sale, your liability to pay tax arises. Now here, when you say when you are supplying, your liability to pay taxes may arise. Now the question is, the supply may be a supply of goods also, supply may be supply of services also, supply may be a combination of both also. In such a situation, what is the point of time when the liability to pay that GST arises? That is known as point of taxation. Point of taxation or levy. When will you become liable to pay tax? You will become liable to pay tax when a certain milestone is achieved in a transaction. Let us say I am selling goods to you. If I am selling goods to you, whether the tax is payable when you give me an advance, or let us say you did not give me an advance. I am selling the goods to you. When the goods move, my liability is there, or when the goods reaches you, my liability arises, or anywhere in between it arises. There has to be a definite point of time, and I should know, as a legality, it has to be provided that when will my liability to pay GST will arise. Because this is a combination of goods and services, the point of time when you will pay tax, when you sell goods, will be different when the point of time when you give services. So for point of taxation, for goods is different and for services it is different. Therefore, whenever you supply, you will also have to yourself classify that whether it falls under goods or whether it falls under services. And therefore, whenever it falls in goods or services, that way you will have to classify that if it is goods, then your point of liability will be different, and if it is services, it will be different. So what is it? This is the slide for it. Now you must understand that when you make an invoice in respect of goods, as soon as you allocate the goods for the purpose of selling and the goods move, on or before the goods move, your liability will arise. Or supposing you say, I'll not make a bill, I'll send it through a challan. वो नहीं चलेगा. There is a law prescribes that if you have sent the goods, the bill should go along with the goods. Okay, if it is not gone along with the goods, there can be various reasons. Let us say you are giving it for you are sending it for a job work, or for that matter, you may be giving it on approval basis. कि तुम देख लो. If you are okay with the goods, you keep it. Otherwise, you send it to me back. Then you may not make an invoice, right? So there can be various situations where you may have to be sending it on a challan and not on. But if it is a confirmed transaction of supply, there will be a time limit specified within which you have to make a bill. So if you make a bill within that time limit, fine. Otherwise, it gets back to the point of time when you have started or initiated your transaction. Okay? So the issue of invoice is the point of time. The earliest of three: issue of invoice, receipt of payment. Okay? Whichever is earlier. Now the question is that when you say payment is received, if you receive it in advance, your liability arises in advance. Hitherto, when any advance was received for goods, our liability was not there under the VAT law. But now under the GST law, even if you received advance against good, the moment you receive advance, your point of taxation gets triggered and you shall be liable to pay taxes. As far as service tax is concerned, we are used to that if you receive any advance against service tax, then that the liability to pay service tax arises, right? But that was not so in case of goods, but now that is also the case as far as goods are concerned. Now the next issue is about the reverse charge mechanism. See, one more important change than what you normally understand is, in Maharashtra, if you purchase any goods from an unregistered dealer, okay, then it doesn't matter, whenever you sell it, you will pay tax on it. So that's okay. But now that is not the situation. If you purchase goods from an unregistered dealer, your liability to pay tax rises. So there is a tax on URD. So if you purchase goods from an unregistered dealer, you will be liable to pay tax. Now if you will be liable to pay tax, the moment you make an invoice of purchase, that is when you receive the goods, or when you make the payment, you may also have made payment in advance, that's also possible. That is the point of time your liability arises. Or when you receive the goods actually. Okay? So under cases where you have to pay as a purchaser of goods, in that case, within 30 days of the invoice you make, or the goods which you receive, or if you have made the payment in advance, then that payment. Then you also have, see now this is a very typical thing. Hitherto there was also time of point of taxation rules for service tax also. There was nothing with reference to voucher. Now this is a special kind of thing where I don't know why, but maybe there are lots of vouchers going on. So if you issue a voucher pertaining to goods, okay, then if that voucher, whenever it is issued and it is known that this voucher is for ready-made garments only, and you know the rate of ready-made garments, then the moment you issue the voucher, the tax will become payable. But let us say you have shopper's stock, okay, and shopper's stock voucher of 1,000 rupees has been issued by you. You don't know that whether he will purchase goods which is clothes, which may be at 15% or 18% or 5%. He may purchase jewelry, artificial jewelry. He may purchase some electronic item. So what will be the goods which he will purchase, the rate is not known. In such a situation, whenever that voucher is encashed, at that point of time, your liability to pay GST will arise. Okay? So if you know that the voucher is for a specific item and that rate of item rate is known to you, then it will be taxable initially when you issue the voucher. Otherwise, as and when that voucher is encashed, then you will have to pay the tax. Now there I was giving an example that you send the goods without bill on challan, on approval basis. The law also provides for that if you send the goods on approval basis, within 6 months you have to decide whether there is going to be sale or there is not going to be sale. It is possible that in the next month only the customer will tell you that okay, I'm going to buy this goods. Then whenever he tells you that okay, I'm going to buy the goods, from that time is your liability to pay the tax. But if he does not tell, right, then after 6 months your liability to pay tax arises automatically and you will have to pay the tax on those goods. You also have for services. Now, you also have time for supply. I mean, point of taxation for supply. Now, it is actually very similar in the sense that even in supply, the date of invoice or the date of receipt of payment, okay, all that counts. Now, in both these situations, there are certain exceptions which have been made. What happens is normally you get a bill of mobile of, let us say, 1,785 rupees. Now you will say, "कौन मगजमारी करेगा 2,000 रुपए का bill card?" Now for him it is a big problem because your invoice is 1,785. You have paid him 2,000 rupees. Okay. Now 125 rupees or 115 rupees which is excess, that is payable as advance, and 1,785 is against that invoice. So your point of taxation keeps on changing. Similar problems always happen. See, even in goods, certain times rounding off is done कि भाई इसमें 15,640 रुपए है, तो ऐसा कर 15,000 रख ले, बाकी का बात करेंगे. So then there will be a lot of problem. Or you say okay 16,000 दे दे, बाद में next bill में 400 rupees adjust कर लेंगे. So you are okay with it, but the government or the law was not okay with it. Therefore, in both the goods as well as services, they have made a special provision which says that where you get an excess amount of around or not more than 1,000 rupees. Okay, they have been lenient to that extent. So up to 1,000 rupees, you can follow your original invoice cutting and not follow the advance. Okay, so as far as extra amount is there, you can continue with the old. Of course, you have a choice that you will go balance, you will take it as advance. But if you want to use it, and again, in reverse charge mechanism, if it is service, we gave an example about downloading of your movie and you paid some few dollars to him, you were liable to pay tax. Now in that case, payment date 60 days within their invoice, whichever is earlier. Now there is a concept of associated enterprise, related concern. If it is related concern, then the date when you debit or credit in your books of accounts, and that date will become liable to pay. So these are all little bit exceptions. You are always used to exceptions, because if we go by the common law or general law, people try to break it by way of exception. So here they see to it that you pay taxes by way of exception. Similarly for vouchers also it is the same thing, and you also have the type of supply for vouchers. If it is identified that the service is there and what is the kind of service and what is the rate, then at the time of issuance of voucher only it will be there. Supposing you get a Javed Habib, that across all Javed Habib's salons, you will be entitled to free massage or whatever up to rupees 500. Then the rate is known. If the rate is known, when the voucher is issued, your liability to pay tax arises. In other cases, as and when it happens, it will happen. Okay. They have also provided, say for whatever reason you say a point of taxation मालूम नहीं है. Okay. Then for that eventuality also, they have provided that as and when it is shown in the return or when you make the payment of taxes, it will be back. Place of supply of goods. Just now back we said the place of supplier and the place of supply are in same state or different state. Now place of supply will change depending upon nature of transaction. I gave you an example that I am selling goods to you, you are also in Maharashtra, so recipient is also in Maharashtra, place of supply is in Maharashtra. Okay. Now with a presumption that I am going to move the goods from here to you. Let us say I am in Mumbai, you are in Kolhapur, and the goods are moved from Mumbai to Kolhapur. Right? So wherever there are movement of goods, okay, in that case, the movement, wherever that movement terminates, that is the place of business, a place of supply for those goods. Therefore, what will happen is that, take an example that I am selling the goods to somebody in Maharashtra. Now he tells me that give me the goods over here only. he may be staying anywhere in Maharashtra. How will I know, okay, whether he is going to take the goods outside the state or he is going to use it over here? Now the question is that I gave him the goods, he told me I'll take the delivery. So I gave him the delivery. He took it to Bhiwandi. From Bhiwandi, he sent the goods, let us say, to Vapi. Now, my liability will depend on the transaction which I am doing with him. If he tells me that I am registered in Maharashtra, this is my registration number, okay, and you give me the goods, obviously you will know the address because you have to collect money from him, right? So, in that situation, wherever there is movement and wherever that movement terminates, if it terminates in the same state, then the place of business is in Maharashtra. If it terminates in another state, then it is an interstate transaction. It may so happen that he may tell you that I don't want the goods in Maharashtra. I have a party in Vapi. You send the goods directly to that party in Vapi. Bill to ship to sort of a thing. Or 6-2 transaction, sale and transit, or even E2 transaction as what you all understand. In that situation, what will happen is, I will bill to that customer in Maharashtra as local, say, because on his instructions I am doing it. And he will make a bill on that Vapi party, which will be an interstate transaction. Both the transactions will be taxable. Today what happens is, the second leg of transaction is not taxable. It is exempt subject to forms. Okay? But now, if on an instructions of a third party, if you are supplying the goods, then you will be raising the goods. The place of supply will be the place of your instructor and not the place where the final destination of goods is going. In our example, the goods actually went to Vapi, but it had gone on the instructions of somebody in Kolhapur. So I raised a local bill because the place of supply is of instructor in this situation and not of the destination of goods. Because for him, for the Kolhapur party, it will be destination of goods and therefore he will raise an interstate transaction. Similarly, you can have other types of transactions also. See, both of you are in Maharashtra, but the godown is in Vapi and the goods are in Vapi. They cannot be moved. They are very huge goods or they cannot be moved. In that situation, because the goods are actually situated in Vapi, both of you may be here. The place of supply will be the place where those goods are situated at the time of the transaction, because they are non-movable goods. Okay? Then if you are installing something, okay, then the place of installation will be the place of supply. Both of you may be in Maharashtra, but the installation is taking place in Hyderabad. Then the place of supply is Hyderabad and it is not within Maharashtra. So this way, therefore, when you determine the place of supply and also the supplier, although both of you may be in Maharashtra, there can be an interstate transaction. And it is possible that you may be in different state, but it may be an interstate transaction. So therefore, it is necessary to understand the place of supply of goods as well as place of supply of services. Now, place of supply of services is very vast. The basic is that the recipient of the service, wherever he is situated, that is the place of supply. Okay, the basic thumb rule. If you are a registered person, then wherever you are registered, that is your place of supply. If you are an unregistered person and I have your address, then the place where the address is situated, that is the place of supply. But take a situation that I am giving you a service of, let us take a Habib's Saloon. You are being given a service of massage. You just walk into his thing and he gives you a massage. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know your address also. He raises a bill and you pay. What kind of tax he will pay? It will be the place where he is situated. So wherever the saloon is situated, that tax he will pay. So he will pay the local tax because he is giving service to an unregistered person whose address is not known to him. Then moving on, it may so happen, if in case of restaurants and catering, beauty treatment, the place where you are rendered that service, that is the place of supply. Now if you are going to some place in Vapi, okay, and you are going to a hotel over there, then that fellow, although you are from Maharashtra, you may be going on your company, you may be debiting that expenditure in your company, it may be for the furtherance of your business, still he will levy you Gujarat tax because the place of supply for him is Gujarat only. Okay? So there you have to be very careful, that can result into a lot of credits which you will not get. Okay? Then if it is immovable property, the place where immovable property is situated. There are various other. Now I was telling you about the place restaurant. Now supposing you are going in Rajdhani and they serve you food all throughout. So what will be the place of supply? It will be the place where the first boarding station is there. So if you are going from Mumbai, then will be Mumbai, and if you are coming from Delhi, then Delhi will be the place of supply. You know that. So all those situations are provided for. You need not worry. There are other situations also, but since we are running short of time, one important aspect is input tax credit, without which it is not complete, because the transaction will only be complete when your liability to pay tax arises. When your liability to pay tax arises, how will you pay tax and show it in your return? That Ashit is going to take up. So till that time I will complete that input tax credit only. Now input tax is defined, we need not go into the definition. You must understand that input tax credit should be used or intended to be used for the purpose of your business. It should be in the course of furtherance of your business. You should possess a tax invoice, a proper valid document on which you want to take your input tax credit or set off or SENVAT credit as you call it. In the current law, in VAT people understand it as set off. The excise and the service tax people understand it as SENVAT credit. And otherwise it is known as input tax credit. The goods or the services should be received by you. So hawala should not be there. Everybody on VAT knows about hawala. So merely giving a bill, not giving the goods, merely giving a bill and not rendering the service amounts to hawala. So that should not be there. And the return should be furnished. If these conditions are satisfied, of course, all these conditions are applicable to a registered dealer only. So if you are a registered dealer and if you are getting inward supply on which tax is charged and you are using it for the furtherance of your supply, then you are entitled to input tax credit. Now input tax credit mechanism, they have done it similar to the value added tax return which you are doing just now. Now what do you mean by that? I mean everybody is not practicing in VAT or they don't know that. I am selling to Parimal Bhai. Parimal Bhai is also in Maharashtra. I am also in Maharashtra. I have, let us say, sold goods to Parimal Bhai. At the end of the month, I have to make a statement of outward supplies. Let us say today, 15th of April, I will show outward supply made to Parimal Bhai. I will write the registration number of Parimal Bhai. So, in the system, they will know that Parimal Bhai has received goods from me. It will be bill-wise entry. And therefore, the tax which Parimal Bhai is supposed to get as input tax credit will also be known. Unless I upload my outward supply, Parimal Bhai will not be able to get the credit of that. So, there will be one-to-one matching. For example, I sold goods 3 times in this month to Parimal Bhai. And in the outward supply, I showed only 2. Then Parimal Bhai, while filing his return, will show that one bill of Vikram Bhai. Then they will send us notice both to us, me and him. In the subsequent period, either I will increase my liability by showing the third bill. If I do not do that, Parimal Bhai will be liable to pay in the next month. So it will be a rolling credit sort of system. That credit which he said he has got from Vikram, he will not get because I have uploaded only 2 bills. And he is saying 3 bills. So there will be a mismatch. That mismatch has to be sorted out across India. Everything will happen on your GSTN number. Each number in a state of Maharashtra, it will start with 27. In fact, we have the same system. In Gujarat, you have 24, whatever. So, when you put that number and when you list down your bills, you also have to give item wise, because you have to put HSN code or the service code. Right? There is a format which Ashit Bhai will tell you. And you have to upload that outward supply. When I do that outward supply, he will get an inward credit, and then that matching will happen. This matching is allowed to be continuously done and rectified only for a period of 15 months. Now, what do you mean by 15 months? First, whenever you are taking credit, that bill should not be of more than 12 months. So first, but even if it is of more than 12 months, then also you will not get it. When, supposing April bill is there, now April bill for whatever reason it did not match and I could not take the credit. This April bill, after September 18, I will never be able to take it. Why? Because it says that whatever adjustments of the year are to be done, you have to file an annual return. That annual return will be the due date when you have filed the September return or 31st December, whichever is earlier. So, within that time period, whatever is pertaining to this year 17-18, you have to sort it out. If it is not sorted out, then entire credit lapses. Okay? Then again, okay, credit लिखाने का है तो वो I will show the outward supply, he will show inward supply. Supposing I don't pay, नहीं देने का पैसा. Then also you will not get credit. If I do not pay the inward bill within a period of 180 days, my credit will not be allowed. So, I should be registered dealer, I should be paying my return. Outward supply fellow should have shown my credit. He should have paid me the amount within 180 days. I should have paid the amount within 180 days. Then only I will get the credit, otherwise I will not get the credit. Okay? And you have to be very careful. But only relief is that if you have not paid and you are reversing the credit, whenever you pay him, you will get back that credit. So that is the reply. उसके लिए 15 months नहीं है. That time limit is not there. So if you have paid the tax, then you've taken the credit but not paid him, and subsequently you pay him after 1.5 years, then whenever you pay him, you will be allowed to take that credit again. So that is very important. Today also you have negative list. Tomorrow also in GST you are going to have negative list. Okay? There is no seamless credit as far as these negative lists are concerned. Credit is sought to be denied for motor vehicles unless you are a car dealer, you will get it, or you are giving car on hire, then also you will get it, or you are using the truck for transportation of goods or services and you are earning out of it, then it is a different thing, or motor car training. Those are exceptions. Otherwise, car related, nothing you will get. Today also on the Senvat credit front, service tax way, you don't get any credit in relating to motor vehicles. The same is going to be followed. Then credit with respect to outdoor catering, food and beverages, then beauty treatment, health services, medical insurance, all those things you are not going to get. So whatever is there which you are not getting under the Senvat credit, the same thing also continues. Okay. Now, however, if you are an outdoor caterer and if you are doing outdoor catering, you will get, because you are a dealer in you are a supplier of outdoor catering only, and somebody is giving you food and you are supplying somewhere else, then you will get credit. Then you can't say that outdoor catering is a negative list and that's why you are not getting. So if you are a dealer in that, you will get it. But if I am a factory and I am getting a bill of outdoor caterer for the canteen people of my staff, then that bill के ऊपर Senvat credit or ITC will not be allowed to me. Similarly, you have, if the supply results into immovable property, then also you will not get. You are using your own goods and taking the supply for an immovable property, then also you will not get. These are there in VAT 54G, 54H, disallowed sections. Those will also continue. Now you should have received those goods and services. All that is there. If the goods are stolen, see, currently these provisions are not there because they have taken the exception provisions from all the law. See what happens today for a pharma industry, doctor samples are made. On those doctor sample, excise duty is paid, but VAT is not paid because it is free. Okay? But now what are they saying? If it is a sample and you are giving it free, if you are gifting something, you will have to pay tax or you will not get credit. So if you don't pay tax, you will not get the corresponding credit. So even if the goods are stolen, if the goods are lost, if they are going away the goods by way of gift, or if you are giving samples to the doctors, in all these circumstances, your credit will not be allowed. Okay? So you have to be careful. There are similar other things which I'm sure when you do specifically you will know. Now last important thing, and we'll close in 2 minutes. I'm already overshooted my time. This is the line of credit, you can say, in which you will get the benefit. If you have credit of IGST, you have to first adjust against payment of IGST, then against CGST, and then against SGST. When you go to, if you have credit of CGST, ITC of CGST, then you can adjust first against CGST, then against IGST. You cannot adjust against SGST. So CGST and SGST, intra-credit cannot be adjusted. Of course, there are other exceptions. There is a composition scheme. Then the rate of tax which is there is 20%. There are other rules and regulations also. But basically to know about GST, GST is on the levy, on the sales side, on the inward side you will get the credit. If the credit matches with the outward supply of that other person, there are certain credits which are not allowed, and whatever is your net liability, you will be paying it by way of returns. You have an outward return, inward supply return, regular return. Of course, return is one, but these are known as statement. How you will fill up that statement and actually pay the differential liability is something which Ashit bhai is going to take. Thank you very much for a very patient hearing, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vikram bhai. Friends, after mode of tax, we'll break for 10 minutes as we